Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Today we're going to deal a little bit with As-Sabiqun, but the main part of the subject is going to be about one of our projects when we go to Oakland. Of course, it's going to be legal. A two-pronged attack on the legal thing. That is the banks, and that is also the civil rights aspect, legal rights that it relates to civil liberties, and police oppression, all this that relates to Freedom of Information Act, police reports. I mean, when I say that, I mean the whole historical. There's a part of the discovery of the police reports for suing the government now relates to recent period of time. But also, we're going to deal over a period of years with the whole aspect. So I'm going to get all of my trials, all of my arrests, every record I can get, all the discovery, and I'll just go back to 67. But that's part of the long-range process. This Oakland story, this documentary, actually I've been putting it together in my mind and on paper for quite a while, but recently I've been more serious about it. So, there's an aspect of history, we talk about it all the time, that has never been really explained and talked about, and a lot of people don't know much about it now. But the government and the institutions know about it very well. Again, that's why we say that the movie Superfly was to distort a certain, to put their paintbrush on the reality. Superfly TNT was, they made a big mistake on Superfly TNT. When they brought out Superfly TNT, they, I believe, of course, by the subject matter, and so does everybody believe, that they were following me, recording and writing the script based on that. It's too close to reality. And there's nobody else in the United States that even come close to anything like that. But in that movie, Superfly TNT, they showed Superfly becoming conscious. Not only just wanting to get out of the game, but he was forced into black or liberation consciousness, and he was participating in liberation. In the meantime, they showed a few scenes, and it was our experience. When we got to Africa, it was brighter, it was, you gotta imagine in those days that everybody left the country because of the white man and his oppression. Can you imagine you get somewhere free? I mean, you're in Africa, and the white man, we were in countries where they didn't have any extradition treaties, or they was in the period of transition where they didn't do that. Like certain countries we watched out for, Kenya and other places like that, because they had closer relations with the West. But if we were in Algeria, Egypt, Tanzania, those places, we might slip over the border to Kenya, but we didn't stay there like, you know what I mean, no long time. So that movie showed a conscious superfly. He was really helping. And that period, that's where some of the black people were in Africa. They needed help to liberate themselves from, whether it's Angola and other places like that, Zimbabwe, all of those places. Shoot, some of those places weren't liberated until 1980. Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, it was just 1980. Remember, it was 1980. Joshua Nkrumah and all of them, our dear brother is still alive. But the white man realized he had made a mistake with Superfly TNT. Because the idea was everybody was talking about that. All the experiences. Oakland was, see, a lot of people live vicarious lives. Like there's a whole people from our earlier generation, but that was a high point of their life. Like some people it was college, some people when they was a football king, some people it was high school. And whenever you see them, they relate to that. They didn't evolve past that. The whole city of Oakland, East Oakland, the people that are my age, that was the highest. All the women who were friends of mine, no, not like girlfriends, yeah, girlfriends. All of them, when they get together, when they talk about that period. Because the rest of their lives was working on a job. So they talked about that all the time. So the Euro come back right after that to get the people in Oakland's mind back on foolishness. That's where the Mac come from. Because when you see people in the clubs right at the Mac convention, when Frank Ward and Ted Waters winning the Mac of the Year, the guys in the background talking and laughing, that's Billy Barnes, Donald Warden, that's all Oakland people. When they're in the barber shop and they walk in saying some slick, yeah, I'm getting paid and all that, that's AJ's artistic fingers, you know what I mean, the hair place. The hairdo place in those days was a big deal. You wanted to meet all the big Negroes, you go there, because they all get their hair done. And the barbers, were famous. AJ's artistic fingers. So one time you see a motorcycle coming up to a club, that's Continental Club, if I remember right. And they get a convertible, like a motorcycle escort police. And I think that's AJ now. It's just, they wanted to take the mind of the people off what we was doing and give them something to talk about.
Change the narrative.
And change the narrative. Okay. Did y'all see this this might have been the New York Times last week. Malcolm X writings include lost portions or sold. Unpublished material, or at least some of it, suddenly emerges. Before, Malcolm's daughter, I think Kabila, had all his notebooks and everything, and the stories, I think down in Florida, a few years back. This may have been, it could have been 10 years ago, not quite that, maybe just 5. So they were selling it at auctions, so the people found out about it and got an injunction on it. because this is historical material, and then the guy was claiming I have a right to it if you leave stuff over so many months in my place, then this is what the contract says. Anyway, they got his stuff back, but it was notebooks and all of that. Now, let's just talk about some of the writings, like 3 chapters of autobiography of Malcolm X that was taken out, or he eased them out at a certain time for a certain reason. And these are some of the notebooks and stuff right here of his writings. Then there's a lot of notebooks just like mine, like lectures, dates and times, you know, and the notes for the lectures, and then the other ones might be the actual lecture. All that stuff is historically important. See his thinking, his vocabulary, and all of that. We've thought about that for years, and one of the reasons that we're so that we can be going somewhere, doing something, we stay and we do these, because we're guaranteed what allows help. Now, don't get me wrong, and that's why we say also for people to download, for people to record, and have this stuff. Because one of the first things, like what we're getting ready to do now, the grand jury has already happened for us. The grand jury is when you present the case to the public. We presented a lot of that. But in writings, in documentaries, and that's what I want to mention. See, our next phase, right now we're organizing the documentary. The first documentary. We're going to tell the Oakland story. But we're going to be telling the black story too, which will include snippets, maybe Oakland's story. Number 1 would be mainly the Oakland story. Okay, I've already got in my mind the people who we want to be narrators, and the sides of the story. We want to tell his social and political side. Okay, I'll narrate that. One of my friends, in fact, he was in the MAC when they was playing baseball. He was the biggest DJ, entertainer. He's in his way up in his 80s now. I would say he's 10 years older than me. But on the player side, on the hustle side, he knows everybody from way back. So on that side, he showed me pictures of the players and what they had in mind in 1963. I was just a teenager then. And I saw, I said, yeah, they were sharp, yeah, know that. So there's a part of Oakland history that he would narrate. The player side, let's call it the player side. There's other friends of mine that they will combine with him. And I'll also have, I better hurry up, because the only Ward brother that's still alive is Willie Ward. And shoot, I think I was 67 when I was talking to him about that. That's 3 years back, about 5 years ago. I was saying, man, can you see me? Because he had a thick coat, bottle glasses. And we would talk, yeah, I ain't really doing it in them days, And he's the last one of the Ward brothers that's alive. So we'll have him narrate all kind of websites of the children of these people are coming up. And they always coming to me. They got pictures of me on some of them. They want to take me back there with them. And I try to tell them. To this day, they don't understand. I said, what's happening now is 50 times as big as that stuff. And they say, yeah, but they don't comprehend. And they definitely don't comprehend us challenging the system face to face. Because technically, don't nobody want to take that ride. They duly respect the system. But we're going to have to tell a comprehensive side of Oakland. And that's what it'll be, documentary. We'll do a documentary style. That there are various types of documentaries. I just talked about the subject. The subject will cover Oakland. That's the subject, Oakland. But Oakland's historical contribution in politics, players, sports, gangsterism, all of that. Oakland has been probably on the West Coast, probably the most significant. As small as it is, it's only 400,000 people. But man, you can see by what you see on the news and what have you, that it's, something is about that place. It's power packed.
Especially right now.
Yeah, I heard something today about Oakland police.
Well, it's actually